All right, singers, Miss Julie here with a little coaching video on some of the vocal exercises that we're working on for this weekend, maybe for a few weeks, and you should work on these vocal exercises for the rest of your life, okay? Because I do. So the first thing we're really getting solid with is our proper breathing, okay? So if you're sitting and doing these exercises, just make sure you're sitting tall with your feet on the floor and your back is nice and straight so that your rib cage can just be really nice and open without crunching down with your back because we kind of squish our ribs and we can't take a deep enough breath, okay? And have a hand on your tummy because when we do some of these exercises, we're going to engage our diaphragm muscle. Remember, our diaphragm muscle is a very thin muscle that lays at the very bottom of the inside of our rib cage. That's where our lungs live. And when we inhale and take a breath in, the diaphragm muscle flattens in the bottom of our rib cage and gets really flat to allow a lot of space in our rib and our chest cavity to let all of that air come in, and it kind of flattens and gets low and goes towards the floor. When we get ready to exhale and let that air come back out of our lungs, our diaphragm muscle relaxes and fills up the rib cage to help get and push that air out. So when you have your hand on your tummy, it's not a belly breath, it's your diaphragm pushing down, which is causing your belly to push out a little bit. And so when we breathe in, like through a straw to the count of 4, you feel your tummy pushing against your hand and it should fill up. And then when we exhale, your tummy will go back in because the diaphragm is relaxing and getting out of the way. And so a really good reminder of that is by saying shh 5 times and hold the 5th time longer. Ready? You should feel a lot of movement from this. Shh, 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 shh. Pause the video and do that maybe 5 more times. And again, our shoulders are not raising. There's no tightness or extra noise from our neck. Because when we take those shallow breaths, your shoulders are going to raise, your neck's going to get tight. You're going to make that sound from the tension. When you're breathing properly, we can take that quick breath, but our tummy will push out to help us with that expansion. Okay, and that's just from your diaphragm doing its job, meaning you're taking a low enough breath. First exercise, hit pause and do it, is the shh. Shh, 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 shh. Your belly should bounce every time. Pause the video and do that 5 times. Next, we have the S's. S, 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 s. Pause the video and do that 5 times. Your belly should also be bouncing. Next, we're going to do F's like this. F, that feels weird, like you're blowing out a birthday candle on a cake through your teeth. But that's what we're doing. And it's helping you to become aware of that. So when you're singing, you can draw that breath nice and deep. Next, I want you just to say he, he, and ha. Ha, 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 ha. And if you're really doing it properly, you're going to be utilizing that breath to create the H breath. Ha, right? Ha. And let a vocalization come out at the very end. Ha. We've talked about how sound is created because our vocal folds, which are 2 folds of skin that live right in here, well, put your hand very gently on your neck and talk. You'll feel a lot of vibration happening because that's where the home is of our larynx and our vocal folds, the 2 folds of skin that air passes through, and they vibrate to create the sound that you can hear when I'm speaking and when you're speaking. We'll get a lot deeper into that later. But if you're creating a ha from your neck, you're going to feel a lot more tension and like you're really trying to produce that sound from up here. Ha. Don't do that. Create a like you're breathing and fogging up the glass. That kind of ha or he. But at the very end, let sound happen. Ha. Nothing's happening really with you forcing it here. It's happening from your breath. Okay? Do that 5 times. Ha, 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 or he, or ho. Pause the video and let's work on that. Okay? So after you've really done a lot of that, and you can feel like you're aware of where that low breath comes from, we're going to be able to access that when we're singing. The next exercise we're going to do is called the siren. Whenever we have to sing high or low, we have to warm up our vocal folds. We can't just go into singing. It's really not a great idea at all. We want to warm up all of the area that surrounds our vocal folds as well. There's muscles and tendons that are all working, and just as an athlete has to warm up and stretch before they play the game or do their physical activity, vocalists need to do these exercises too, because we just don't want to go into riffing and running and singing without doing this properly. Otherwise, it's just going to hurt and be bad and cause injuries, actually. So be careful with those vocal folds and your voice in general. Okay, so the next is sirens. You're going to feel silly doing this. I do this in the car because nobody can hear me. Whee! And don't control anything. Let your voice rise like you are on a roller coaster. Whee! And let it fall to the ground. You almost feel like a human kazoo. Have you ever blown into a kazoo and you hear the sound go really high and then get really low? Well, that's what you're doing with your voice. And I love to use my hand to help direct my voice. And I let my soft palate raise just a little bit to allow myself to access my head space. We'll talk more about resonators later. I don't want to get too deep with this, but sirens are a very gentle way, a non-controlled way to release all of your tension and let your voice just do what it naturally can do if you let it with proper breath support and by utilizing some of that tension-free singing. And get higher each time. Don't force it to go low. Don't force it to get high, but hit pause on the video and do that like 5 times if you want to. The next one is the yawn exercise, and this is silly, but oh my goodness, you're going to learn how to utilize your pharynx, which is this back throat open space, almost like a yawn, because that's raising the soft palate in the back of your throat. If you ever looked in a mirror and looked at that little thing hanging down in the back of your throat, that's called your uvula, and if you raise your soft palate, oh, like that, you can see it raising. Do it in the mirror a couple times and check that out. That means you're raising your soft palate, which allows a lot more air and sound to pass through and gives you a taller sound as well when you're trying to sing in your head voice, okay? So our yawn exercise is to say, oh, sounds silly, kind of feels silly, but oh my goodness, your vocal folds are going to love this. You're going to love this because it's going to teach you how to access that higher sound. Let's do it again. Really open and lift like you're yawning. Oh, and let your jaw release and be tension free. Do that about 5 times. Pause the video. Next, we are going to do our chest voice exercise, which is going to say, hey, hey, you, what you want to do. We're just putting words to it because you're going to sing a song where you need chest voice, and this will be better than singing on nothing, like just nothing syllable. So, hey, hey, you, what you want to do. Don't worry about vibrato at all right now, okay? But hey, hey, you, what you want to do. You should feel some diaphragmatic breathing happening here. Hey, hey, you, what you want to do. That power from your chest voice projection is going to come from that diaphragmatic breathing, okay? And you can move up chromatically on your pitches. Hey, hey, you, what you want to do. Hey, hey, you, what you want to do. Hey, hey, you, what you want to do. Keep climbing until you feel that you're getting a little tight. You can't quite project that in your chest voice. Your chest voice is that comfortable area where you could almost yell or talk. That's a really strong chest voice. Then when we get to our head voice, where you get to your break, We're going to utilize your soft palate. And the exercise for that is so come soar with me. And I'm going to start on G with that. Come soar with me. I'm trying to do that in one breath. And these are all on the same pitch, by the way. Come soar with me. Try to have a lot of open space with your face, with your jaw, with your soft palate slightly raised. Lean into that head voice. When you're singing in head voice, you feel almost a vibration at the top of your head. Come soar with me. I'm going slow on purpose because I want to feel the difference with letting that breath support float into my head voice and almost feeling that vibration in the top of my head when I'm singing in my proper head voice. If you're trying to sing in your chest voice up here, it'll be more like this. Come soar with. Ugh, it hurts to even do that. I know that I can't be chest voicing that at all, and I should never even try because it doesn't sound pretty and it doesn't feel good either. You can really hurt something if you do that. A lot of times we're trying to imitate pop singers on the radio, but what we don't know, or Alexa, sorry, I'm old, but what we don't know is all of those pop singers are in studio using a lot of different mechanics and special effects to make their voice sound like that. We're not trying to do that with our own voice, okay? That's why I really want you to think about doing this properly. Up here, come soar with me. Okay? So go as high as you feel comfortable doing, but those are some basics, some really beginner exercises that we can, and beginner as in the beginning of the year exercises as we develop and get into more consistent exercises that you can develop into. But man, these are going to get you off to a great start. So practice these, you guys, every day. You can invent little things from these exercises too. If you come up with a really great idea, I want to hear your ideas at our next voice lesson, okay? So don't forget to always warm up before you sing. And we're learning awesome tools to develop your singing voice, to have the control when you need it, to make your voice sound the way you want it when you want it to. So I can't wait to hear what we're going to do next week and in the weeks to come, guys. Have a great night and a great week.